in Computer Science and Engineering from MGR University, Chennai. She had an experience of 22 years of teaching as assistant professor, and also acted as head of the Department of CSC and ISC branch of engineering colleges. She is also an editorial board member and reviewer of the International Journal of Computer Science and Applications, Journal of Computational Science, Journal of Circulation in Computer Science, reviewer of Elsevier Journal of Computational Science, reviewer of IJAIT, Journal of Visualization Elsevier, IJCSA, IJCER. She is also an active member of different bodies like IEEE, IET, IEI, and ISDE. She is also backed with numerous awards and honors. She received Best Teacher Award for the year 2012-13 in PDA College of Engineering, received the State Award, Women Engineers Award from Karnataka State Center, received the RULA Rula International Award 2018, Distinguished Researcher of 2018 in recognition with outstanding work and achievements in the field of research and co-curriculum on 15th August 2018. Her area of interest is medical image processing. Currently, 8 students register PhD under her. Ma'am also guided more than 100 students' projects. Regarding her research publications, she had 87 87 international journal publications, 9 international conference publications in India and abroad. Also, 2 papers received Best Paper Award from IEEE and ICFIT. Published in national conference. She attended and also organized various conferences, symposia, and workshops. Today, she is in the midst of us to share knowledge on fusion-based medical image processing. With great pleasure, ma'am, I welcome you to this session.
Thank you, ma'am, for the great introduction. I'll share my screen. Once again, I welcome you all to the ICT 2021. My hearty congrats to the complete team of St. Xavier Catholic College for organizing the conference on the recent topics, which includes near about all the areas which are related to the computer science as well as the information technique. So I was a little bit doubtful while choosing the topic on which topic I should have to give the keynote address. So at the last, I thought, let me explore some research problems which are latest one, because if somebody will listen that one, so directly they can start the work on that one. Nowadays, the fusion technology is very much popular technology in the image processing. And you know that when getting the images in the biomedical image processing, it's very difficult task. And if somebody starts working on the biomedical images, and if we are adopting the fusion technology, definitely that work will become the novel work. So myself, once again, Dr. Shubhangi DC, working as a professor and chairman of Department of Computer Science at VTU Center for PG Studies, Kalburgi. Welcome you all to my keynote address. Now, before going to the topic, let me show you something different, because always I won't start directly the things. Now, this is the first screen. Is it visible to everyone? Yes?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So this is the first image. It is little bit interesting is there. First image which is observed on the screen, you can see that when you will observe that particular personality, it is very difficult for the person to identify that whose personality is there, or you can't say the directly name of the person. But I'll give one trick to you. You can close the little half portion, left half means upper half portion of that one, and you can observe the lower half portion of the face image, or you can do the vice versa also. If I'll keep the hand, or I will close the lower half portion of the this one hand face, and I will observe only the upper half of the portion. If I will concentrate only on the eyes, eyebrows, and forehead of the person, so anybody can give the answer. This is the image of the famous film actress, that is Aishwarya Rai. And if I'll do the same thing, if I will repeat it, I will close the upper half of the portion and I will observe very closely the lower half of the portion, and I will concentrate only on the parts of the lips, cheeks, and lower half of the portion. So definitely the answer will come from you people. That is the image of Deepika Padukone. So next one, coming to the next image, you can adopt the same procedure here also. You can close the lower half portion and you can observe again. Here it is the combination of the two actresses. One is Bipasha Basu and another one, eyes, forehead, and eyebrows is of Rani Mukherjee. Next, one more image I will show you here. So after observing this particular image, you will see that one. So these are the combination of the two images. Okay, we have combined the two images of the two film actors. That is, one is a Shah Rukh Khan, another one is a, yes, Salman Khan. Now, what we have done it by observing the previous slides, what we have done it here, we have combined the images. So how to combine images? So that may be the question in everybody's mind. So what do you mean by combination? The technical word which we are using for combining the images is nothing but the image fusion. So this image fusion technique will be adopted in each and every category of the image processing techniques. What is image fusion? The image fusion is defined as a process of collecting some important information from the multiple images and combining them to result in a single image. Means one thing has got cleared here from the first point is that, so you can collect the important information from the images. Means there is no restriction for any researcher that how much part of the image should have to be abstracted or how much information should have to be collected from one image, and up to what extent that information should have to fuse with the other image to form a single image. That restriction will not be available on anyone. So that is the first thing. In the second point, the single output image is more informative and accurate than any one of the single source image, and it consists of all necessary information. The main purpose of the image fusion is not only to reduce the amount of data but also to construct the image that are more appropriate and understandable for the human machine perception. See, nowadays the machine learning word is the most popular word. You know, the person or the human being will take the decision what as per the instructions given by the brain, but what about the machine? So definitely when we'll speak about the machine, we have to train the machine, we have to feed some algorithm to that one, we have to give the input such information to that machine to take some decisions. So here, by giving the correct information or by giving the more accurate information to the machine, it is possible for us to train the machine to give some efficient results. And definitely such problems has become more easily solvable in, especially in the biomedical image processing. So that's why I took one case study also. So that I will explain it into the later this one. Image fusion. The next point is image fusion will help us in the restoration of the degraded images, mixing images, and achieving the face morphing. I think these words are not new for you. The meaning of degraded, everyone knows it. What is the meaning of mixing? Also, everyone knows it. And what do you mean by morphing? Also, everyone knows it. There is no need, because many of the researchers, they might have done the work in the networks. They are not that much perfect in the image processing technical words, but I had used here the general terms. So let me give the more details about the how the mixing has been done in the degraded images. So this technique, we are calling here it as a image restoration technique. In this one, what we are doing it now, you can observe the image 1, image 2 very carefully. So in the image 1, you will find that one, the left half portion of that particular person is little bit degraded. Whatever the pixel intensity is there, okay, whatever the combination of that pixel intensity is there, that is the different as compared to the right half portion of that one. You don't get that much clarity of that image. Means the left half portion of the image is slight degraded in the image one. In image two, you will find that one, the right half portion of the image is slight degraded. So the most common or the most popular algorithm which is available with us to restore such type of degraded images is a discrete wavelet transform. So we are doing the image fusion, which is used to restore an image from more than one degraded image with uncommon areas of the degradation, will be done by taking the help of the discrete wavelet transform. And this technique, particular technique, we are calling here it as a image restoration. Now one more example I will show you here. One more technique is there of the fusion. In that one, what we are doing it, we are capturing the two images, but these two images are totally different than that of the one another. The two or more different images, we can fuse it together to create the new image, and which carries the more information. More information in the sense what? The content of the image 1 and the content of image 2, both the informations are available with the image 3. That technique we are calling here it as a image mixing. Again, here also we are giving the preference to the wavelet transform. Now the next one more example is of the image mixing. Here the in total 5 images are available with us. In the next figure you will find that when the different postures of the human being has been displayed it here. So total 5 images shows the 5 postures. These 5 images you can combine it together by taking the help of the algorithm of the image mixing, and you can obtain the one image which we are calling here it as a mixed images. So these are the few examples are there of the mixed images. Coming to the next slide. Nowadays the lot of work is going on in the face morphing, especially in the criminal cases and all these things. Usually nowadays you might have seen that the peoples are using different techniques, okay, to skip from their identity. So they may go for the plastic surgery and all these things. So to how to identify such faces, so definitely the face morphing algorithm will help us to identify such criminal faces from the society. So this is one of the example. See, the algorithms are available with me. Anyhow, I'll share my mail ID with you for the further more detailed information, because it's very difficult for me to brief the complete detail of any of the algorithms within 1 hour, but I will try my level best. So these are the two images are there, image 1 and image 2. So image fusion can be used to achieve the face morphing from two faces of the two different persons. So the third will generate the morphed image, and that image will give the information regarding the image 1 as well as the image 2. Similarly, this is one of the best example of the face morphing. You might have seen the well-known film actress, that is Bollywood actress Aishwarya Rai is there. So face morphing algorithm has been used. Two faces has been morphed together. One is a Hollywood actress, that is Jennifer Lawrence is there, and the morphed face, you might have seen that one. There is a mixing of the eyes, there is a mixing of the nose, there is a mixing of the eyebrows. Parallelly, there is a mixing of the lips is there. Means we are overlapping the pixels contents of one image onto the another image. That has been done into the face morphing. So that is also one of the observations. Now whatever we have learned it in the previous slide, so what are the overall empirical observations will be there? So definitely one image is not enough for doing the image fusion. So we need more than one image. That minimum we require the two images, but you can go for the multiple images also. Parallelly with that one, as the data is available with us, now we need the technique. So technique is nothing but the algorithms which will help us to fuse those images. These are our empirical observations are there from the previous slide. Now you know that one image has been defined in two domains. One is a spatial domain, another one is a frequency domain. In the similar way, the fusion techniques which has been adopted by the image fusion has been divided into the two categories. One is a spatial domain image fusion techniques. Another one is a frequency domain image fusion techniques. The most popular, there are few more are there, but I had listed only the few popular spatial domain image fusion techniques. One of the most popular technique is high pass filtering, that you can use it for the spatial domain image filtering technique, fusion technique. Another one is the intensity hue saturation method is there, and the Brouwer method is also the most popular method to work on the spatial domain for the fusing the image. And parallelly with that one, the principal component analysis also the play very important role in the spatial domain of the image fusion types. But when we will talk about the frequency domain of the image fusion techniques, so the Laplacian transformer and the Gaussian method, which are the pyramid based methods, are playing the very important role in the image fusion techniques. Parallelly with that one, the discrete cosine transform based methods, discrete wavelet transform based methods, and curvelet transform based methods are very popular into the image fusion techniques for the frequency domain. Now, once again going back to the fusion, so what will be the input to the algorithm? Says definitely for the fusion algorithm, the input will be not a single image. Definitely, as I had explained in the previous slide, input is a minimum 2 images or more than 2 images. That is several images of the same scene we are giving as an input. And what will be the output of that one? Definitely the output is a one of the image of the higher quality. Now, what do you mean by quality here? The definition of the quality depends on the particular application area. What is the criteria that you are adopting, for what purpose? Whether you are doing the fusing in the spatial domain, whether you are doing the fusion in the frequency domain, okay, whether you are concentrating only on the degraded part of that one, or whether you are concentrating only onto the combination of the RGB pixel or specific features of that particular image, depend on that one, that particular quality term will be defined it here. Now, the main objective of the image fusion is to combine the information from the multiple images of the same scene. The result of the image fusion is a new image which is more suitable for the human and the machine perception of further image processing tasks. See, why and to explore this particular part? Whatever the processing that we are doing it on the image, definitely our last aim or our motto is to get the image which is having the more clarity, and that is possible by taking the help of the different fusion technologies. Now, what is fusion? The term fusion means in general, I am going little bit technically depth on that one, because we are going on to the track of biomedical image fusion. So that's why once again in little bit depth I am explaining regarding the fusion technique. The term fusion means in general an approach of extracting of information acquired in the several domains. The goal of image fusion is to integrate the complementary, multi-sensor, multi-temporal or multi-view information into one new image containing the information, the quality which cannot be achieved otherwise. The term quality, again, its meaning and measurement depend on to the particular application. Now, when you are doing some tasks, so definitely the task will be categorized in some XYZ methods. In the same way, the fusion technology is also, image fusion methods has been categorized into the different technology, but that categorization has been done according to the what type of data that you are going to fuse in the image, and according to that one, what is the purpose of the fusion. So those two things are the base for the image fusion, means depend on according to the data entering the fusion and according to the fusion purpose. We distinguish the following categories. So these are the following, the most popular fusion categories are there. One is a multi-view fusion, next one is a multimodal fusion, another one is a multi-temporal fusion, and next one is a multi-focus fusion, another one is a fusion for the image restoration. One by one we'll see the details. Now, in the multi-view fusion techniques, here images of the same modality taken at the same time but from the different places or under the different conditions. Its major goal is to supply the complementary information from the different views. I'd given the very best example it here in the next slide. You can see in this we are having totally 3 images. So first image, this represents the image 1. So here the images has been captured from the different views. So here in the first image, you can observe this image very closely. You will see that one, the foreground of image is very clear, but background is little bit blurred. But in the second image, the background of image is little bit clear, but foreground is clear, not clear. So here image 1 and image 2, we are using the multi-view fusion technique to fuse these two images, and we are obtaining the fused images. In the third image, you will observe that when the foreground as well as the background of both the images, which is giving the clear information. Why it is important one? Because if some images are blurred images, unable to get the complete, while extracting the features from that images, it's very difficult to get the complete feature set or the novel feature set from that particular image. In such cases, it is better to go for the fusion of those images. First, you make that image clear and make the image with the correct information, and then after that one you try to extract the features of that one. Now you can compare the image 1, image 2 and image 3. If we'll adapt some features, or if we'll try to extract some features from the image 1, definitely you will get the foreground features more clearly, but you unable to extract the features of the background of the image 1. In the same case, in the vice versa, in the second image. But when you refer the image 3, in the image 3, when you will process that particular image 3, definitely the features which you will extract from the foreground as well as the background, you will get the correct feature set from the image 3. So that is about the previous technique. Now the next one is a multimodal fusion technique. In the multimodal fusion of the images which are coming from the different sensors, this particular fusion technique is the most popular technique which will help in the biomedical image analysis. So here we are using the visible and infrared images, CT and NMR images, or panchromatic and multispectral satellite images. Images of the different modalities also we are using it here, like PET image, CT images, MRI, visible, infrared, as well as parallelly we are using the ultraviolet images also. Here it's the major goal is to decrease the amount of data to emphasize the band specific information. Now the most popular medical images used in the multimodal fusions are, nowadays lot of research work is going on this one. One of my student, she has done the work on the CT scan as well as the PT CT scan images. She has used the fusion of these two images and got the very better results. So positron emission tomography images are available, computed tomography images are available with us, then magnetic resonance imaging are available, single photon emission computed tomography images are available with us, nuclear magnetic resonance images are available with us. So while doing the biomedical image analysis, instead of working on any one type of images, if we'll get the fused image of either MRI with CT scan or PT CT scan with the CT scan, which will give the fused image, which will give the necessary information for us. And what are the common methods which are the most popular methods in the multimodal fusion techniques are, the weighted averaging pixel wise algorithm is available. Then you can go for the fusion techniques which are available in the transform domains. Even there is a availability of the object level fusion is also available. You can take the help of that one. Now I'll show you some algorithms or some of the images which have used the pixel averaging algorithm. So the first image is a NMR image. You can see that one. This is the brain image. You will find that one, the damaged tissues. I'm showing it here by the arrow. Here the damaged tissues which has been shown by the dark black spot, which will be coming at the center of the particular brain. So which has been exposed in the NMR image. While the second image you can observe is that one, that is the SPECT image is there. The damaged tissues has been shown by the some little bit violet part of that one. So this is the image of the single brain which has been captured as a NMR image and the SPECT image. But when you will try to extract the information from the NMR image, only you will find that the export part is just this one is a little part which is of the just like a small circle, but we are unable to get the information of the damaged tissues which are the part of the at the side of the brain. So that is available into the SPECT image. But if you want the complete information of the damaged tissues of those brains, it will be better that you can use the fuse technique, that is pixel averaging algorithm on both the image, and you can obtain the third image which I had shown here it as a third image. In that one you will find that the black spots also visible, parallelly with that one slight violet parts which are the damage information is available with us. Now you can extract the features of from this third image. Definitely that will be the more informative as compared to the feature set which has been extracting from the image 1 as well as the image 2. Now we'll go for the next one. Here again, here we are using the same algorithm of the pixel averaging of the medical image. So first image is a PET image is there, PET image is there. So here the violet part is nothing but the damaged tissues of the this one brain. When we are going for the NMR image of that one, you will find the one black spot it is there, that is the most damaged part of that one. But when we'll try to extract the feature of the PET image, we are unable to highlight that the most damaged part of that particular black area, so which is available into the NMR image. But when you are going for the fusing these two images togetherly by taking the help of the pixel averaging algorithm, definitely we are obtaining the third image. You can observe, have a closer look of the third image, you will find that one both the information are very informative or very clearly available in the third image. When you are trying to extract, when you are either you can go for the shape feature, or you can go for the color features, or you try to extract the texture feature of that particular tissues, definitely you will get the more dominant prominent feature set from the third fused image. So that is about the previous method. Now in the multimodal fusion, we are using the different resolutions. I think resolution word is not new for everyone. One image with the high spatial resolution, the other one with the low spatial but higher spectral resolution is there. Its major goal is an image with a high spatial and spectral resolution is there, and here the method which has been adopted is, here we are replacing the bands in the discrete wavelet transform. So these are the two input images is there. One is a panachromatic image is there, another one is a multispectral image is there. When you use this particular fusion methodology, we'll obtain the multimodal fused images which will give the more information as compared to the image 1 and the image 2. Now the next fusion technique that I wanted to focus it here on the multi-temporal fusion techniques. Here the images of the same scene has been taken at the different time. Here the time will playing a very important role, usually of the same modality. Here its goal is to the detection of the changes, and method we are adopting to fuse these images is a subtraction method. I'll give the one example. Now this is the angiography image of one patient, XYZ patient, which the angiography has been taken 1 month before, which has been represented in image A, and after 1 month once again this angiography has been done of the same patient. So you will find that when the clarity of the veins which is available in the angiography in the image A and image B is not that much clear. But when you will go for the digital subtraction algorithm, so definitely you will find the fused image, that is the image third, you will find the clarity of the vein which is available in the image 3 will give the more information regarding the health of the patient and what is the current status of the patient and what will be the criteria or what the decision the doctor has to take. That means image A and image B is not providing that much information as compared to the third image. Next one is a multifocus fusion technique. See here, in this particular fusion technique, the original image can be divided into the regions such that every region is in the focus in at least one channel, and its major goal is image everywhere in the focus, and the method which has been adopted here is to identify the regions in the focus and combine them in the together. I taken very good example here. Now you can see here a person is standing here, there is a foreground is there and background is there. So here images with the different areas in the focus in multi-focus fused image we have obtained here. It as you can observe very closely the first figure. In the first figure, the personality of the person is very clear, but its background is little bit blurred is there. In the image 2, you can observe that when the personality of the person is blurred, but background is very clear. But when you are using the multi-focused fused technique of the different areas, here the in the first image, what is the focus? The personality. While in the second image, what is the focus? Main focus is the background of that one. But when you will use the multi-focus fused image algorithm, you will obtain the third image, which is the fused image is there. In that image, you will find the background of the image is also clear, as well as the foreground of the image is also clear. Means the person is also clearly visible, as well as what is there in his background, that is also very clear. So when you will try to extract the features of these two images, so definitely whatever the feature we are extracting from the third image, that feature set is a most prominent feature set which will give us the more information as compared to the information which has been gathered from the image 1 and the image 2. Now the next method is fusion for the image restoration. Fusion of two or more images of the same scene and the modality, each of them blurred and noisy, may lead to the deblurred and denoised image. Multi-channel deconvolution is a typical representative of this category. This approach can be extended to super resolution fusion, where input blurred images of low spatial resolution are fused to provide us a high resolution image. I took one more example here. Here the fusion for image restoration, here the idea behind that one is each image, you know that one, each image consists of the two part and the degradation part of that one, which can be removed by the fusion techniques. So the types of degradation which are possibly, so these are the common types of the degradation which are available with the images. Sometimes there may be a additive noise may be available in the image, so you can use some image denoising algorithm to remove such type of noises from the images. There may be a convolution, so you can use the blind deconvolution methodology to remove that one. There may be a resolution decimation in the images, so that is one of the type of the degradation of the image. So for that one, you can adopt the methodology of the super resolution, so which will help us to remove that the resolution decimation from that particular image. Now this is one of the example that I am showing it here. You can observe the image 1, image 2 and image 3. So image 1 is the image which has been averaging over the multiple realization, which has been captured the before registration, and image 2 has been captured after registration of the image, and the third image has been obtained by taking the help of the denoising, averaging and the multiple realizations has been done, and which will give the clear information as compared to the image 1 and image 2. Similarly, while talking about the blind deconvolution, so here you can observe that original image is a person, in his hand a camera is there and the multiple channels are available, and we are adding the noise in that one. So acquired image is nothing but the multiple frames are there, but which is having the noise in that one. So in the super resolution techniques, what we are doing it, we are combining such several low resolution images. In the next slide I have shown it. So you can combine, you can use some fused algorithms here and combine such several low resolution images and obtain the high resolutions from that particular image. In each of the category, the fusion consists of the basic stage of the image registration. 4 basic steps of the image registration is a feature detection, feature matching, transformation model estimation, image resampling, and now the next point what we are discussing is a feature detection. Here when we'll see any one of the image, so you will find something in that one. Being a human.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, sir.
Madam, presentation is now not visible. You closed it.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Again, please share that.
Yeah, okay, sir.
No, madam.
It's visible, sir, now?
Yes, madam. Now it is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption. So whenever the image will come in the picture, definitely, as many peoples are available as a part of the conference, also those who are not having little means not that much familiar with the image processing. So in general, let me discuss what do you mean by features, okay, of the images. So being a human, you know that one, while identifying your friends, there will be some criteria that you will adopt it. Either you will identify, or you will identify by their faces, or you will identify those personalities either by their names or their occupation or whatever. These are the criteria which has been adopted by the human being. But what about the machine? So definitely when machine wants to identify certain things, so definitely the feature is playing the very important role. Features are nothing but some indications, like one slide is there in front of you. You might have seen that one. There are some buildings are there, 2 to 3 buildings are there, that has been represented by some signs. In that one, we are representing the corners, lines, intersections, edges, contours, closed boundaries and regions. These are either manually or preferably automatically detected. For further processing, these features can be represented by their point representatives, distinctive points, line endings, centers of gravity is called in the literature control points. Now, how this feature matching will be done? So definitely, see, usually how the what the human being will do. Either he will ask if somebody is asking me you that I met your friend, so definitely you will ask what was his name. That means what is the feature or what is the criteria that you adopted. So name is the criteria that you adopted it. Similarly, how to find out that particular feature? So definitely what you are doing it here, whatever the features that you have identified, those features you are matching it. Okay, so what you have mapped it here? Here we have mapped the corners. Okay, here you have mapped the lines. So here the red line, which is the part of the figure, here you can see that one, that is nothing but the mapping of the features. 2 I had mapped with the 2, 1 I had mapped with the 1, 5 I had mapped with the 5. So in this particular step, the correspondence between the features detected in the sensed image and those detected in the reference image is established. Various feature descriptors and similarity measures along with the spatial relationship among the features are used for that purpose. Similarly, transform model for the estimation, the type and the parameters of the so-called mapping functions here we are using, aligning and the sensed images with the reference images are estimated here. The parameters of the mapping functions are computed by means of the established feature correspondence. Here, the graphical representation has been shown. The sensed image is transformed by means of the mapping functions. The image's values in non-integers coordinators are estimated by an appropriate interpolation techniques, just like interpolation mask, closest snares, and linear smooth cubic. Now, I took one of the example as a case study so that we'll go in the more depth of that one. So how the image fusion has been done in the brain tumor. And that case study is a brain tumor analysis using the image fusion. So usually in the biomedical image analysis while using the fusion technique, so this is the common methodology which has been adopted. This is a general block diagram is there. First we are acquiring the images. Acquiring the images is nothing but we are collecting the database. Okay, we are acquiring, either it may be CT scan image, either it may be MRI image, or it may be any X-ray image or angiography image, whatever it may be. Image acquisition has been done. After acquiring the image, we are using the different pre-processing steps for the image pre-processing. There are thousands of steps are there for the pre-processing, like resizing will be there, binarization will be there, reshaping will be there, or denoising will be there. That has been done in the image processing. Then after that one, we are going for the image registration. After image registration, then we are going for the segmentation. Why the segmentation is necessary? Because if you are interested in any of the region of interest of that particular image, only that much part will be segmented. Okay, means area of interest. In the previous figure, you might have seen that one, that only the complete brain was not damaged, but the particular part of the brain has got damaged. So only that much part we are segmenting it, and that part, from that particular part only we are extracting the features. Means after segmentation, the feature extraction will play the very important role. Now, for example, the texture of the tissues of the brain are the most prominent features that we can collect it. Otherwise, you might have seen that one, there is a change in the color of the tissues, of the brain tissues, which has been affected very badly. So those features, means you can collect the color features from the segmented part, or you can collect the texture features from that part of the brain, and those features, extracted features, you can give it to the classification, and easily you can identify whether that particular person is having the tumor or no. Similarly, the same thing has been shown here in the form of flow chart. First MRI one image has been taken, second MRI 2 image has been taken, both images has been pre-processed, filtration has been done, then it has been transformation has been done, then T1 and T2 two parts has been done, and which has been used by fused together by using the image fusion algorithm. Then the fused image has been registered. Then we are whatever the fused image resultant image has came in the picture, those images we are going for the segmentation. Again, after doing the segmentation, once again we are going for the transformation of the images. Again, here two images we have got it, one is T1 as well as the T2. From the image T1 we are extracting the feature set 1, and from image T2 we are extracting the feature set 2. Means two prominent feature sets separately has been extracted from the fused images. Then these two feature set, what we are doing it, we are fusing it together, and then we are analyzing that particular feature state to take some decision up to what extent that brain has got damaged. So this is the flow chart is there. Now the part of the experiment which has been obtained for the fused images, that I am showing it here. Have a closer look on to the block diagram. Here we have combined the wavelet as well as the correlate transform. So here DWT is nothing but a discrete wavelet transform, and FDCT is a fast discrete correlate transform. Here you can see the block diagram. In that one you will see that one, two images, input images are there. One is a MRI 1 image, okay, and second image is a MRI 2 image is there. Yes. So on the MRI 1 image, what we are applying, see this particular block, MRI 1 images, we are using the discrete wavelet transform. After applying the discrete wavelet transform, what will happen here? It generates the approximate coefficient matrix. Okay, and those coefficient matrix and details of the coefficient matrix obtained by that wavelet decomposition has been given as an input to the fast discrete wavelet transform. Okay, so this has been repeated for the MRI image 2 also, and these coefficient matrix, whatever the features, those dominant features which has been obtained from the images, again what we are doing it, we are fusing these two features in the fusion block, and then the correlate transform has been used, which is applied to the approximate coefficient matrix. Mean and average features are extracted from the detailed coefficient matrix. Then the fusion has been done here, and the extracted features has been obtained it here. And after fusing those features, once again we are going back to the inverse fast discrete wavelet transform, and again we are going for the inverse discrete wavelet transform, and at the last you will get the most prominent fused image. Same thing has been explored here in the algorithm. The steps are like this one. First, you have to read the MRI image 1, that is M1, N1, and MRI image 2, that is M2, M2, which is to be fused. Then resample both these images so that wavelet coefficient of the similar components will stay in the same magnitude. Now apply the two-dimensional discrete wavelet transform to these images, which decomposes into the four subbands, that is LL, LH, HL, and HH. These four subbands are sensitive to the low frequency approximate components and three high frequency detailed components. The wavelet coefficient from both the input images are obtained, which gives the high spatial resolution and high spectral quality contents from the images. Further, we are adopting the fast discrete curvalet transform using the frequency wrapping is applied to obtain the curvalet coefficient. The steps of the frequency wrapping transformation is here. The wrapping transformation is nothing but a simple reindexing of the data, which here we are applying the inverse two-dimensional fast Fourier transform to each coefficients of I1 and I2. The curvalet coefficients, both the coefficients of both the input images are obtained, which contains the high directionality. These coefficients are fused using the maximum selection rule, and the fused coefficients has been obtained here, and the final fused image has been reconstructed by applying the inverse discrete wavelet transform to the fused images. The comparative analysis has been done, and the parameters that we have worked on, that one is RMSE and fused PSNR parameters. Now, what are the objectives of this biomedical image processing? Here, the major objective is to investigate suitable pre-processing method to enhance the quality of the acquired MR images, to obtain a fused image from the set of pre-processed input images, to develop an effective and computational simple method for registration of the fused images, to obtain a suitable framework for the segmentation of the registered images, to diagnose the presence of the brain tumor, to extract the suitable feature vectors which properly model the representation of the abnormalities in the segmented image. See why these objectives has came into the picture. First objective, let me focus on that one. It is, see, whatever the present pre-processing method which has been adopted into the MRI images, which is not that much suitable method, okay, which is won't give the prominent feature set. So that's why it is necessary for us to work onto the pre-processing methods on the biomedical images. In the same way, when we will talk about the second objective, to obtain the fused images from the set of pre-processed input images, it is very difficult task to obtain a single fused images from the set of the pre-processed. That is also one of the challenging tasks is available with us. So all these are nothing but the research problems. So you can pick one of the problem and you can start working on that one. I'll continue with the objectives. See, there is no universal framework is available for the biomedical image fusion techniques. So we have to develop such framework to fuse the feature vectors for the analysis, to develop a suitable analysis model for accurate diagnosis of the brain tumor, then classification and recognition based on the decision to localize the presence of the brain tumor to assist the further medical treatment, then representing the tumor in the 3D volume. That is also one of the challenging tasks is there, and also working with the other type of images like PWMRI with other types of abnormalities, because here I had restricted my case study only with the brain tumor, but when we are going for the other biomedical images, so definitely the algorithm may remain same, but the data it plays the different role. So definitely when the data will come in the different way, so definitely whatever the features or whatever the pre-processing techniques that you are adopting, that will be definitely those are the different things that you have to adapt it. Now, until now, whatever you have listened it from my side or whatever the presentation I had given, I think you have got little bit idea about the image processing and what is fusion and what do you mean by biomedical image analysis. So I think there may be, I will only guess from my side, there may, as an audience, there may be one question in your mind, how this question will come in mind, because the general steps which has been involved in the image processing. So the general diagram of image processing, everyone knows it. that one. First we are acquiring the image, that means we are taking the input image. Okay, image acquisition is the first step. Now after acquiring the image, next what we are doing it, to make that image more suitable for extracting the feature, what we are doing it, we are doing some pre-processing on that image. So there are thousands of steps are there for the pre-processing. Either you can go for the binarization, or you can go for the resizing the images, or you can adopt any other methodology. Thousands of methods are there. What you are doing it, you are processing that particular image. After processing that particular image, what we are doing it, then next we are extracting the features from that image. Now whatever the features which are extracted, so those features you are passing it to some of the classifiers. So classifiers will take the decision whether that particular person is having that particular disease or no. Now let me put this one. For example, a simple example I will take it here. Instead of going for this one, if you'll think it about only handwritten character recognition, is simple example if I'll take it. First we are capturing the image. Okay, so the handwriting samples has been taken. So definitely the people won't write those samples in a same way, because everybody's handwriting will be in the different way. The way to write a single letter will be different by the different peoples, you know that one. Why the handwriting is a unique identity of the person, why you are signing on some of the important documents, because the signature which you are doing is nothing but it's the part of your personality. In the same way, how you are writing, that is also the different part is there. So image acquisition, what you are doing, if you have collected the samples from the 10 peoples, so the 10 different samples you are having with you, handwriting, then what you are doing it, those samples, suppose one person has written a letter in the 10 different way, or the 10 peoples has written the 10 letters in the 10 different way, so you are having those as a input data. Now what you have to do, some peoples will write it in some broad way, or some people's handwriting will be very small. So what is our first step, what you have to do it in the pre-processing, first you have to make all the samples of the same size. That is one of the pre-processing technique is there. Now after making all the samples of the same size, next step is, what you have to do it, you have to extract the features of that one. Features are nothing but shape of the that particular image. For example, what is the shape of that one, that is one of the prominent feature. Then next one is, if you have collected the shape as a feature of that particular image of that XYZ person, then that shape as a feature you will take it and you will pass to that one to the classifier. For example, if you are using the SVM classifier there, multi-class classifier, if you are using it, if you are having total 26 means how many alphabets are there, depend on that one, there's many classes you have been identified. So that particular, if A has been written, then that particular feature point will be get plotted into the hyperplane of A in the SVM classifier. So this is the one example that I had given to you. So these are the general steps usually will follow in the image processing. So by observing all these things, because our major task today we are discussing about the fusion techniques, the big task it here, where that fusion technique will be the most proper or suitable, in which step of the image processing will play a very important role. That may be the question in your mind. So my answer to this question is, in each and every step adopt the image fusion algorithms, because it is giving the most prominent results, most efficient results. For example, how the fusion technique will help us in the image acquisition. So image acquisition is nothing but collecting the means acquiring the images. I told you that one, as in one of my work, the MRI images has been fused with the CT scan images, and the CT scan images has been fused with the PT CT scan images. So when we are doing the fusing these two images togetherly, definitely whatever the information or whatever the feature set that we are collecting from that particular image are giving the most prominent results. Okay, from that one. So definitely here the answer is that fusion technique is possible into the image acquisition. Now come to the next step, that is a pre-processing steps. Just now I have told there are so many pre-processing steps are available. One is a resizing the images, another one is a binarization of the images or denoising. So many filters we are using it for denoising the images. So definitely see, if you are going for the multiple filtering of that particular image, so definitely it is possible for us to reconstruct that particular RGB value of that particular pixel, or you can make the RGB combination of the pixel to the equal amount, and whatever the degradation of that particular image, you can reduce it there itself by fusing the different pre-processing technique togetherly. That means answer to this question is fusion is possible in the pre-processing technique also. Now come to the next point, that is feature extraction. As you know that one image has been defined by the 1,000 words. What do you mean by those 1,000 words? Those 1,000 words in technical term, I will call here it as a feature of the images. How will you identify the peoples? Definitely by its look, okay, by its color, by his color or by his hair. What are those things? Those things are nothing but the features. For example, simple example I wanted to tell you, how will you differentiate, okay, being a human, how will you differentiate between the items which are available in the breakfast plate? You know that the idli and the vada which is available into the breakfast plate, those two things immediately when we people will observe, definitely will identify this one is vada is there and that one is the second item is idli is there. But how the machine will understand those things? Definitely if you want to feed the data in terms of the features in the machine, what you have to do it, we have to extract the color of that one, because the color of the vada is different and the color of the idli is different. That is the one of the most prominent feature of that particular data. Otherwise texture is also one of the most prominent feature is there. You can touch to the vada, you will find the surface is little bit different, and when you will touch to the idli, you will find the surface is little bit smooth is there. That means what is this? This is the texture features are available of that particular database. I had done a lot of work onto the feature set also. So many feature states are available, many papers are available on the net. Structural features are available, structural micro features are available, many statistical features are available. So you can combine all these you can fuse these feature set togetherly, and you can generate the most prominent feature set for you, so which will help you to classify in the correct way. So my answer to here is, in even in the feature extraction step, the fusion is also possible. You can fuse the n number of features simultaneously. Now the next step is a classification. So there are different types of classifiers are available. While doing my research work, one thing that I had observed, I had worked a lot on the support vector machine classifier. In that one, while doing the experimentation, one of my observation is that when SVM has given the very good results for the low level feature set. But further working on the same domain, one of my observation is that when after doing the experimentation, in one of my paper, what I had done it, I had combined the feature set values togetherly, and I had combined the support vector machine with the neural network. Whatever the support vector machine values has been there, those value has been generated, a statistical value generated by the support vectors, those values has been given to the neurons to train the neural network, so which has given the more better results as compared to the single support vector machine. That means what I wanted to say it here, that it is possible for us to combine the two or more classifier, and you can generate the hybrid classifier. Means fusion is also possible into the classification. So here I think your doubts has got cleared, that fusion is possible in image processing in each and every step. Either you can, while starting it from acquiring the image, go for the pre-processing steps fusion, go for the feature fusion, go for the classification fusion. Even you can adopt some different detection methodologies are there also you can go for the fusion techniques. Now next, what are the current challenges are there now in the future on the image fusion techniques? Nowadays you might have seen that one. Nowadays you will see that one, that there are 5D images are there, three-dimensional scenes are available with us. So it's little bit difficult. I can't say it's not possible, but this is the area of research is there. You can adapt the data set as a 3D images, or you can go for the 5D images. You can collect such scenes and you start doing the experimentation on the image fusion of that one. That is also one of the challenges there for that one. And one more challenge as per my point of view is the object with the different motions. Because you know that one, when you are planning for the image fusion of that challenges from the future work, so object with the different motion it is there, and improving the registration of that one, it is impossible to design a universal method applicable to all the image fusion tasks. Every method should take into the account not only the fusion purpose and the characteristics of the individual sensor, but also particular imaging conditions, imaging geometry, noise corruption, required accuracy, and application dependent data properties. So I think this is the third, whatever the challenge I had kept in front of you, all the researchers. I think you will get the thousands of problems to generate some universal method which will be applicable to all type of image fusion task, because even in biomedical image itself you will find that when there are thousands of biomedical images are available, even you can go and discuss with those doctors also. So you will find that when as different diseases are coming into the picture with the different symptoms, there is a lot of scope is there for doing the research by taking the help of the fusion tasks, which will be applicable for the which will help us to generate some universal method. I think this is the most challenging task is there that I had kept in front of you for the future work on the image fusion. So if I'll request the audience, if any questions are there on this one, anyhow I'll share my mail ID with the organizers. Directly be in touch with me, and if any questions are there, you can ask. Feel free to ask the queries. No questions, sir? Okay, no issues. There is a request is there. There are huge problems are there. Research problems are there with me on the image fusion techniques. Those who are those who are interested, you can send me the mail on my mail ID. I'll share with my mail ID with the Seldev sir, and be in touch with me. Definitely, it's my pleasure to work because it's my passion. Always, I'll start searching something new. Even our MTech students are doing very innovative projects in VTU. I got many awards also for that one. So even I will be happy if I'll be helpful for you to contribute something from my side to you people in the fusion domain. So thank you, sir. Shall I? Thank you, sir.
Madam.
Yeah, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Especially, I wholeheartedly thank my best friend, Dr. Seldev sir, and complete organizing team for giving me the opportunity, sir, as a keynote speaker in the International Conference of Computing Technologies 2021. Thank you, sir, and I wholeheartedly congratulate to all of you, sir. Thank you. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, madam. And one thing, madam, now more than 300 persons are watching this one online.
Yes,
so we
sir.
have broadcasted to their classroom, in their classrooms.
Yes, sir.
So the more than 300, nearly 400 are watching.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable knowledge sharing on the concept of image fusion process. As our sir told that nearly 300 students are watching, and I thought that they got a new idea because image fusion, and it make it very interesting, ma'am. Your session is very interesting because your all your presentations are like that. You started with the thing that is the students. That is what is that? They are heroes and heroines actually.
Yeah.
So,
That was
you
little interesting.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure. Actually, you know the pulse of today's generation, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's and hence they are stick on to the particular presentation. I think so. So I'll be thinking that they will be they got your mail ID.
There is one personal request is there. We should not have to stop our research here. So for the audience, there is a personal request from my side. If you are interested to do something innovative in the image fusion techniques, so be in touch with me. Okay, so I will be happy to share my knowledge with you all.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. So anyway, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.